Alright, hello everyone. That Streamer 1993 here, back with more Shining Force Legacy of Great Intention on the Sega Genesis. So, this is kind of funny. Very recently I found out that the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass actually isn't crazy expensive. It is if you're doing it, because you need to be afford the money for it. But it's only like $4.60 a month. I was paying like $1.25 before. So I was like, fuck it. I decided to get it. And I totally forgot that when I got it, it actually includes a Sega Genesis thing on it, and I can actually play Sega Genesis on this. That means I can play this game on it, because I'm pretty sure it's on there. So if I wasn't so far in this game already, I would have just started doing it on the Switch. But unfortunately, I'm not going to do that because I got really good luck with the HP increase and everything, all the stat increases, so I'm going to keep it the way it is. So I got some good news too, is that, well, first of all, you guys can see that I changed my haircut. I finally got it cut. I didn't like my hair looking like that. But we got some good news that after this battle and some more dialogue, we actually are done with the first chapter of the game. I believe there is 9 to 10 chapters in the entire game. So this is probably going to take about 15 streams for me to deal with. Holy worms are crush you beneath my heel. Attack soldiers of Runefest. Lord Kane, Lord Dust Clover Prince demand Runefest immediately. Tell him I'm on my way. Yes, sir. Shame I can't stay to watch me your doom. My troops can handle the likes of you. So now we have Chris into our party here. Chris is level 2, 10 HP, 9 MP, 10 attack, 5 defense, 5 move, 4 agility. So just for a reference, she's level 2, low, has 11 attack. So, like I said before, this is a very bad map for us to level up on, so I'm not going to. Because in order for us to level up, we have to either travel all the way over here to fight these enemies, or travel all the way over here and fight these enemies. So there are there are 2 new enemies in this map, but I'm going to show you both of them. This is a sniper. It's very similar to how Hans operates. It has 15 attack, 5 defense, 5 move, 7 agility, and the wooden arrow equipped. It also has 13 HP. So this thing can be deadly. It can only attack from one thing away. Its move is not very good, but it's very dangerous the way they use it in this one. And this is a dark mage. This one has 10 attack, 6 defense, 5 move, 9 agility, 13 HP, and a massive 26 MP. He also has a wooden staff and something called a shield ring, but it's not equipped. So a shield ring is interesting in this game. A shield ring is something that the enemy can have, but you can't. Essentially, when you equip the shield ring, I think they forgot to equip it to the monster. But essentially it gives you like 1 to 2 extra defense. So the strategy for the Dark Mage is basically just to wipe out everything around it that you can, and then just smack it as hard as you possibly can. Not being careful, because that's way level 2, you have to be careful about putting your units in a cross, make sure they're not done here. So I've been playing a Fire Emblem game, so this is going to take me a minute to get used to, because the controls are definitely different, but it's a very similar game. But I'm going to get used to it. I just gotta make a big attempt to get used to it. So when the next chapter starts, I'm trying to remember the first battle. I want to say the first battle is really not no better, but it's actually more viable to deal with than it is this battle. But I think most of my characters are level 4 except for Chris. However, I don't see the point of needing more than 2 healers, so I'm probably not even going to use Chris at all. So here's the thing about this map. These Rune Knights are going to file at the bottom of it. And they're going to put... So basically what's going to happen here, I'm going to show you guys, because like I said, I've had a lot of experience with this game. The Rune Knights are going to line up here in a formation. If you get too close, I'd say about here-ish, they'll start attacking you. Plus you have to deal with the giant bats. So I am going to opt for coming over here instead. These giant bats will attack me about when I get to the bridge. And then I have to deal with the Dark Dwarfs. The Dark Dwarfs are not hard to deal with, but the bats are the most annoying part because they can, like I said, they can put your enemies, they can put you to sleep. And they can ruin with you. So, we have to be careful. So they put the snipers with the Dark Mage for the sole reason that the snipers can actually get you before the Dark Mage can, and they require no MP to use. So the only one I believe, yeah, May's the one's only level 3. I think it run on to level 4. Except, obviously, for Chris. Nolo's still level 3. What about Gordon? Okay, so it's just, yeah, so we only got a few characters to level up once we get past this thing. Or we could possibly level them up. During the fight. Probably not low, but I probably could get May up there. So, in this game, I find this game is a little more unforgiving than other games. So, normally when I play a Fire Emblem or a Shining Force lookalike, I usually end up getting my mage to level up However, in Fire Emblem, you actually can't get your mage, my bad, not mage, healer to actually hurt the enemy, because you need a separate weapon for it, and they have a duration on, or a weapon durability and all that stuff. So I decided not to do that in that game, but in this game I try to load up my healers, because they actually, their stats matter more in this game than they do in the other ones, I believe. Not to mention, since I'm not getting my healer within attack range most of the time, I'm usually keeping the healer back until I need him. In the other games, you really don't need the stat increases. For the healer, anyway, not for the other units. For those who are wondering what Fire Emblem game I'm talking about playing, it's actually called the Sacred Sword. That's on the GBA. I just want to see what that was. Is that really going to tell me this? What I think it's going to tell me? Oh. I thought it was going to tell me that I'm streaming. I was like, well, duh, of course I'm streaming. Because I'm the one doing it. I had a sense of deja vu. One of my friends, he had to disconnect his laptop, and he's running the same thing I have with the OBS and everything, and he's like, I just did my shit reconnect, now I can't do it. And essentially, see, when you do sources in OBS, you have a bunch of different options. He was trying to use game capture. Game capture I've never gotten to work on OBS, but essentially what you want to do if you guys want to do this, and this is for a capture card. I'm using a window capture for this. You want to use a capture card, you got to connect it to your PC, obviously. That is not a big brain moment. And then you need to you have to make sure that your device is connected by going to your settings, to go to Bluetooth and devices. If all your shit's connected, then you go into your sources, you hit plus, you go to video capture device. Now, if you click on it and you do, this is for a capture card, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. I'm kind of talking kind of fast here. When you connect in a device this way, OBS does not automatically assume that you connected that. So once you got video capture device in, you actually got to find out what your video capture is called, or rename it, or whatever you got to do, and you're going to select it on the thing, and then it should bring up your capture card. There are certain things that will cause capture card to not show to a black screen regardless, but a lot of them are usually like harmless, like they're not like, such as, because you can activate and deactivate sources. You want to deactivate the USB thing and then reactivate it, or you can select another source and go back to the original and go back to the capture. Maybe that's going to help some people if people are getting stuck with that. But OBS overall is not crazy hard to use. But I will say if you disconnect your capture card or certain other devices, if you go to reconnect them, OBS for whatever reason does not remember what your devices are, what the settings are. So you're gonna have to reconnect it. So so I'd recommend that if you're using a gaming, if you're gonna use it for streaming, make sure you remember your settings and/or only use it for streaming or video recording, whatever, however you want to say that. So I forgot to do one thing. I forgot to change the speed to fast, because you go even on 3, it seems like the game kind of is like really low. So I got kind of stupid here. They're attacking Max like a sumbitch, and they're actually doing a fair amount of damage. They might do what I think they're gonna do. They might not be able to. I don't know yet. But they do, I essentially have to end the battle because I'm not gonna make it out of here. There's also a high possibility those bats can just put me to sleep, which obviously is not ideal. So I'm in a bad situation here, so I'm gonna start wailing on these sumbitches. Luckily, they're not crazy strong. Like, even Gong without a weapon is still doing 6 damage. Although Gong does have a lot of attack stats, maybe that's not the best comparison. Okay, so these bats just made a major mistake. First of all, Luke is probably going to shrug most of that off. Yep, I thought so. So they put themselves in an interesting position here because I can hit them with Hans from a distance, even though they're on the water. Well, this one's kind of on the water. Hans does very little damage. I don't like archers in this game because I think they do too little damage. Then again, if this is really the first Shining Force game, or the one on Sega Genesis, how are they going to tell how to balance it? You know what I mean? So, okay, they actually just made it a lot hard. They actually made it a lot easier for me. So for those who watched my stream before, you're going to know what I'm talking about here after I managed to get a turn in with Tau. By the way, like I said, I don't know how you pronounce these names, but it's how I'm pronouncing them. So we're going to move Max back. I'm trying to get him away from the enemies here, because I want to be able to heal him. We got May here. We're going to hit the Dark Dwarf for hopefully the rest of its HP, but I might only do like 5. I only do 4, okay. That's fine. So now, how can you use level 2 and hit all 3 of them at once? So this is going to heavily damage 2 of them and probably kill 1 of them. Or I can just get a deadly attack and kill 1 of them. Giant Bat's gone. 16 damage. So 8 points of damage on the giant bat. What's 9 points of damage on the giant bat? How gets 40 experience points, 60 coins. Health level increased to 5. Defense level increased by 1. Speed increased by 1. Massive hit points increased by 1. Okay, that's not terrible. So we're gonna move low down because we need to level him up anyway. We're gonna heal Max for about 8 HP. I don't want to get him too low on HP because, like I said, if Max dies, the battle automatically ends. And any units, by the way, and gold that you get from the battle will still be there. But if you happen to lose a unit, then you have to revive that unit. So, you know, there is that. We're going to move Gort in here because he has higher defense. And we're going to slam with some of these guys here. Basically, I'm going to have Gort take Max's place. Because Gort has more defense. Gort should take almost no damage from the bats and or the Dark Dwarves. Also, when you get past these bats and the Dark Dwarves, it really isn't too much of an obstacle here. Oh, I forgot. I thought Ken still had the spear equipped. That's my bad. I was going to try to attack one of the enemies, but yeah, Maid has has a massive amount of defense as well. Okay, so they're still going after Max. So I'm going to teach this Dark Dwarf a lesson. Max evaded. Okay. It's something you don't see too often. Against enemies, maybe, but usually not yourself, especially not against the main character. 1 point of damage on Gort. So we're going to whap this bat for hopefully the rest of its HP, but it is over like a water area, so it might not, yeah. Land dudes have a very bad aim with the attacks versus the, just about everything else. So Tao is level 5. I really don't want to keep using Blaze over and over again, so we're going to retreat that. And we're going to hit this dwarf for the rest of its HP. I apologize if you can see it on my screen, by the way. My message just says SJD. That was just a test to make sure my thing was still on. I know it's like on the game, but I don't want to change it because I have my Persona gate set for this, and I want to. Well, you want to know what? I think I could fix that. So let me just change that because it is a little annoying. I'll admit that it is annoying to see it on the game. So let's fix that real quick. It's not as hard to fix as some of the other things yet that OBS can really do with you to screw with you. All right, so I should be able to hit this. How much bat? Okay, this bat is not going to die from this attack. Might not even get hit. Okay, 6. Clearly, the bats are more mobile, have higher speed, but they don't have as high defense as the dwarves do. At this point, to put the Gort to sleep, I wouldn't even matter. I think I've got a pretty good foothold against these guys right now. See, this map really doesn't have a lot of enemies per se, but it does have a lot of problems with enemies. I guess would be the best way to put that. So we're gonna try to hit this bat for the last HP point, but okay, it actually hit. 5 points of damage, 25, 60. So if you guys are wondering why it sometimes does like 4 and then 5, that's just the RNG of the game determining whether the attack should do the attack minus. For example, I don't think the way the RNG works in this game is that, I think it happens with a lot of RPGs, is that so they can't determine which number it is, so it swaps between the numbers. So I think there's like a variable that tells you like, okay, it's actually like 14.4, not 14 flat, which actually would make a lot more sense. All right, so we're gonna hit this dwarf for like probably 4, 6. Okay, that's more than I thought. I'm trying to get May to take out one of these enemies here so we can get more experience. So see, here's where the AI kind of screws up a little bit. Because if I was the AI, or if I was the programmer, I would have had them target Hans because he has lower defense. Alright, what do we got here? How much HP does this Dark Dwarf down here have? 4. Okay, that should work. Working 21 experience at 25 coins. Also, I will say one thing to do with this game that I really like is you can tell I don't know if you guys notice this or not, but not the battle music itself, but the map music is different now. And they changed it several times over the course of the game, making it so you don't have to listen to the same song over and over again, which is something they didn't have to do, but I'm glad they did it. Oh, I probably can actually hit this. Assuming the attack goes through, I can actually hit this giant bat and kill it. It actually did go through, and that's with the 3 points. So Logan needs 34 experience and 60 coins. That's going to help him level up. By the way, someone, not me specifically, I told them I was playing Shining Force, and I was trying to do it with just Max, and they asked me how far I got. My response is I got the second to the last battle of the entire game. with only him. The only issue I had, and this happens with a couple of games, but sometimes you can just shut it off. And this one I couldn't. Essentially what happened, hang on, Han's gonna hit him for like 5. Or he's just gonna move. Which actually, and crazy for a dwarf to be able to avoid that. Basically what happens is, I've mentioned this before, but there is a level cap in this game. Once you start getting so high level, enemies will only give you 1 experience no matter... Ooh, I got a deadly attack for 8. Doesn't sound like a very deadly attack, does it? Mace level increased to 4. Attack level increased by 1. Defense level increased by 3. Speed increased by 1. Okay, so that's a good chunk of defense increase. So we're going to move low back now since he took quite a bit of damage because that dwarf hit us twice. And essentially, there's a couple areas in the game where enemies are really close to you. Will level increased to 4. That's when increased by 2. Mass magic will increased by 1. And learns a new detox spell. So I forgot about detox. Detox heals poison. It costs, I believe, 3 MP to use. Not very helpful, but it is a nice thing for a healer to have. So they swarm me, and normally I just level up. Get the experience, egress, or die on purpose. The only problem I have with that is that I was actually so high level that I was only getting 1 experience per hit anyway. So in order for me to do this, I'd have to do this around 100 times in order for me to kill them. The problem is that I would use stuff like healing seeds, certain items in the game in order for me to heal myself or increase my own attack power. The problem is no matter how I increase my attack power, they would do so much damage. These things are called chimeras. They actually have 2 attacks. Some enemies in the game have 2 attacks, by the way. And essentially, there was a regular attack that they would just hit me for 1. But there is a magic-based attack that would hit me for up to 20 to 25. Now, keep in mind, I still had like 80 or 90 HP at this point in the game. But if they swarm you, you can't do anything because they'll surround you and you can't move. So essentially, I was in a spot where I was like, oh, that's not happening. So if I had a healer in that situation, I might be able to get out of that, but I didn't. So there is that. Okay, I think everyone now is at level 4 except for Tao, because she leveled up. Yeah, everyone's level 4 now, except for Chris, because I'm not using Chris, but that's here nor there. So we got, so far we're doing pretty good on this map specifically. I know I've been kind of like jumping around subjects and shit like that, but you know. So we have to be careful with certain units against the mages, because like I said, 9 damage at this stage is a lot if it hits multiple enemies. So, interesting thing about these knights is that I haven't seen them do this a lot, but they're actually waiting up there. Normally they wait by the bridge until you get really close. But I guess the game has a sense that I was getting really close, even though I really wasn't. So our tactic here is to lure the knights down and the snipers, and hopefully, well, I think for the most part, the snipers and the mage stay in that spot. But the rune knights will come after me. However, since Mage has gained a massive 3 defense points, I could probably use her as a scapegoat. At least for a while, anyway. Put Ken behind him. I'm actually going to hit stay. They're going to start, yep, they're going to start advancing now. And they're all going to come at once, by the way, so that's going to be another problem. But, like, I think they should do maybe 1 to 2 damage on May now that she has that massive amount of defense increase. Oh, 3. Okay, that's a little more threatening. Hopefully a lot of them have already moved, so I can play the intercept game. Instead of everyone is leveled up, I can go full force. So we're going to head to Rune Knight with Gort. This should do about 5, maybe. Or I can just, I'm getting a lot of deadly attacks. 14 points of damage, 48 experience, 45 points. I'm getting a really good amount of those, and I'm actually glad because maybe this particular version of Shining Force was maybe it wasn't like as maybe it was just better, like for critical hits and stuff like that. But I'm not really sure. The only thing I could say I'm glad about in this game is that units cannot, in Shining Force 2, units that can attack can counterattack, and they can counterattack twice. So let's just say I'm very thankful in this game. I could level up to avoid that, but if they started doing that, wow, 7 to Rune Knight, that was more than I was expecting. There would definitely be a lot of problems, especially early on. Alright, so we're max here, and we're going to hit this Rune Knight. This is probably not the best idea, but I am surrounded by my units, so they shouldn't be able to surround me. Alright, so we're going to put May here. May should do enough damage to put that Knight down. 6. 3 for experience, 45 coins. So like I said, if you're playing this game and you're hitting enemies for multiple points of damage and you're only getting 1 experience per kill or per thing per attack, it means you're basically past your level. You have to start fighting. If you can't beat the game with all your characters at the current max level, the level cap, you might want to do a little bit of research, because not everyone's good at these games. I understand that. Like, I'm not good at Souls-like games like Code Vein, Dark Souls, obviously, and I'm also not good at Bloodborne, stuff like that. I'm not good at those really hardcore games. Plus, my reflexes sometimes are ass. Like, for shooters, not a problem. But for whatever damn reason, I can't seem to get it down very well with... I'm going to equip Pen's Spear here. There's the reason I kept this spear so I can attack from a distance. This might not do enough damage to put him down, though. Or it could. 32 experience, 45 points. Okay, so everyone's still an even level. So... we have several options here. I could throw one of my units to the wolves. However, with the Dark Mage and everything, I think what we need to do is we need to get, like, right here. Everyone, like, in this area here. And then we need to basically just run a full frontal assault. I'm not crazy on the idea, because I'm probably going to use, like, 1 or 2 of my units. But luckily, this game doesn't have permadeath. So I'm fine on that front. See, I think I could get Tau almost within range to hit those snipers. I think getting Tau that close and Hans that close is a bad idea. Are they seriously still not moving? I thought they'd be running through our shit right now. No, they're not moving. Okay, that actually makes it a little bit easier because I know I can advance one more to face everybody. I'll put Chris over here because we're not using her. Put low here. So I think if I kill the Dark Mage, I think the battle's automatically over. So I'm gonna run a risk here. I'm actually gonna hit the mage. I don't think it's gonna be enough to put it down, but it should do. Yeah, it did over half its health. Working 14 experience, guard level increased to 5. Defense level increased by 2. Speed increased by 1. Maximum hit points increased by 3. Very good increase. So now I can actually have Hans deal with this sniper here, and we're still not within range for that mage to hit a bunch of us for the with that blaze level 2. Also, for whatever reason, the AI in this game, yeah, I probably could kill them right now. The AI in this game, for example, let's say that blaze class level 5 MP, right, or 4 MP. Let's say that the mage is surrounded by a bunch of enemies. They're not in a cross formation, and they use blaze level 2. That means that, yes, they did do more damage, but they focus more on damage than they do on everything else. So we're actually going to use Blaze level 1 here, because I think that's going to do enough damage to put that mage down. The Dark Mage is obviously the biggest threat. We're probably not going to see too much of it. Alright, so Dark Mage defeated, Tau gained 22 experience, 92 points. That might be enough to end the battle. It does not end the battle, okay. But we're still okay, because the snipers don't deal a shit ton of damage, but they do enough to be worrisome. Like, if they start targeting Tau, that might be a bit of a problem. Luckily, they don't have very much defense, so there's that. Battle is going at you really well. I was expecting this to be a slaughter fest on my end. So we're going to make sure we have the bronze level so we can do maximum damage at close range. 9 damage on the sniper. 10 level increased to 5. Defense level increased by 1. Maximum hit points increased by 2. So now the sniper's gonna hit Gort, but I think it's only gonna do 1 to 2 damage. Yeah, 1. I'm gonna try to get a level 4 to hit that sniper for the remaining HP because I want the level up on them. So I'm gonna skip a few turns here. Hans would be appropriate to take the sniper down. So there's for my experience, 80 coins. There is another archer get later on, and I believe she's better than Hans, so I'm probably gonna equip that character to this one. Maximum time to lose. The king must be stopped and found out what you can, and be sure to talk to the king of Eltron. So this is interesting. And now, if you talk to some of these things that they say they weren't concerned about guarding at Roofest, he said never trust Runefest. That's what I always say. So he was basically denying it the first time. Now he's gone. You can see the witch is gone now. He even mentioned it. Here we go. She doesn't know good. Mark my words. So we talked to some of the villagers. Their dialogue changes a little bit. Maybe get rid of the evil Cain person. Well, we didn't get rid of him, but we did something about him. Bells in the streets, fairs in prison. What's the town coming to? Alright, so there's nothing else we can really do in this area. So there's actually something funny about the king here. If we talk to the king, he will actually ask us to forgive him, and we hit no. We hit no as many times as we want to, but we had to hit yes at some point in order for us to progress. We talked to this lady here, and she's going to come and take care of Chris. Up to the king again. I told myself, the game's department. Can you forgive me? Yes. Thank you. I want to help you search the dragon head to reveal a secret passage. So when they say a dragon head, it took me a minute when I first put the game to figure out what they're talking about. But if you search this dragon head here, there's a chain inside you and wish to pull it. Yes. A door appears. Essentially, just like that, we've ended Chapter 1. Buzzing H is the door, the key. What can it all mean? No matter what the cost, the mystery must solve and the Rufus plans foiled. Chapter 1, Runefest Invasion End. Do you want to see your record with this far? Yes. Chapter 2, Spirit of the Holy Spring. Max is Shining Force follow Kane's trail to the round town of Rindo. So we actually have an interesting thing here. This place actually sells weapons that we can actually use. However, I'm going to search the town first because I believe there are certain things going on. Name's broken. I've been going up crazy in this place. Does anything ever happen? So this is interesting. Normally characters don't name themselves. I believe Boken might have been a fighter of some kind, maybe another monk. Because there's not really a lot of monks in this game. But I think they didn't have time to implement him, so they never did. But he shows up several times in this game, actually, which is actually rather interesting. So we're going to search the town first before I do this, just to make sure we don't need, in case we don't find anything. So this is kind of the funny thing here. If we actually go in here, we can see that there is an actor here. 2 actors. What a rotten role. I can't stand this much longer. What a great role. This actor's life is for me. So you can see here that we, they obviously think this is a play, but it's actually a real thing. If we talk to this man here, the play's about to begin. It's about Runefest rounding Gardenia. Want to see it? So it's actually a very gruesome thing here, but they don't show anything graphic, so that's something. So we sit here, it actually goes to the play. Thank you for waiting, but the show will now begin. Hit that you grid and whip, and that, and that. Please don't kill me, mighty Runefest Knight. Please, do it to live. You will worm, take that. Aye, you've killed me. So Runefest force always fall. Pow, bang, smash. So, that was the entire play. Wasn't worth a damn gold coin. But, essentially, that's supposed to be a bad adaptation of what actually happened to Runefest. Or Gardenia, I mean. So we're gonna come in here. There's an item shop here. We're gonna head up this way. There's not really much anyone really to talk to. If I talk to everyone, this might take me a while. That's the mayor's house right there. We go here. Here's the Freyer. And there's one more house here that is rather or several houses here that are more interesting. This one is an inventor by the name of, I forget what his name is. Croc Genius, that's me. Look at the steam sunk guns. Walk over here. Still doesn't seem right. So we can work with this character actually later in the game. Sounds just who I ask. Okay. He's developing a steam suit, but it's not working properly. It stopped, not again. Oh dear. Well, back to the old drawing board. Whew, it's hot, heavy, and hot. So we're gonna search around because there actually is an item here. That's his wife, and she didn't really say anything into. There is an item around here that we definitely want, and I'm having like a brain fart where I think it's this house here. It is. So there's not anything in here but one item. So Max discovers a speed ring. So this is one of the first items you can use and equip. Essentially, when you equip said item outside of battle, it increases your agility by 4. However, there is one other use for it. If you use it in battle for a few turns, your agility increases by an essential amount. This is significant because it increases your accuracy and your evasion. The only thing is if you use it too many times in battle, it'll crack. Use it too many times more and it'll break. But you can take it to a weapon or an item shop, and they can repair it for X amount of gold, depending on how broken the item is. But once the item is broken, it disappears from your inventory completely. So now that we explored most of the town, we're going to talk to this guy here. So you're going to see that there are just new weapons we have available. So we have the middle sword. The first thing is the middle sword. So this, I believe the middle sword actually does slightly more damage than the axe does. And we're going to double check that theory because Gort actually has one. I probably should equip that if that's the case. I think it does 1 more damage. It does. So Luke does not have a middle sword, but he can equip one. So we're going to buy a middle sword for Luke. 250 coins, which is more. We definitely have enough for that. We also have a bronze lance here, a power staff. This is the next upgrade for the wind staff. The power staff is significant because it gives Lo a good attack point boost, which isn't really necessary, but I prefer to have him do some damage. It can also be equipped to Chris and Tao. I'm actually going to give one to Tao too, because I forgot about Tao. That does eat up a lot of my gold, but I'm still okay. So now that we got all that out of the way, we're actually going to equip some of these weapons. You have to manually equip them. So we're going to equip. We're going to go to Luke. We're going to equip his weapon here. Now, these weapons have no significance if you hold on to them, some of them. So I'm going to do this. You're going to see that giving her the power staff gives her a massive 8-point boost. That is higher, I believe, than May and Ken. Yes. I think it's even stronger than Max is right now. No, it's actually just 1 point weaker. So, now we're going to equip Tao with hers, or Lo with his, which gives him a significant boost as well. Now that we got all that out of the way, we're actually going to go to here, and we're going to just sell some of the stuff we don't need. This is basic stuff like the wooden staff he had, 60 coins. So the interesting thing about this, if we sell him an item, a weapons vendor an item, and it says 240 coins for it, okay? He says it's mine, all mine. So we're going to purposely sell an item we don't need that is not a weapon. So we're going to sell an angel wing. I'll get 30 coins for it, okay? So I think I don't sell this type of item, but I know somebody who does. This happens when you sell a weapon to an item vendor, or a weapon to an item vendor, and an item vendor to, and a item vendor. God damn it! My brain is not working right now. Weapon to an item vendor, and a weapon to an item vendor. Did I say the same thing twice? I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Jesus Christ, I am not. I guess my brain is like going everywhere right now. We're gonna sell his short sword as well. We really don't need the thing, but it frees up some of our inventory. We're gonna give him the hand axe as well, since we have the middle sword already equipped. Same thing with her. I'm gonna give him the wooden staff. By the way, you always sell whatever you need for a little less than what you actually paid for. We're gonna give him the wooden staff as well. We don't need it. Wooden staff is pretty. It actually would be an insert challenge to beat this game without weapon swapping. But, you know, that's a kind of a difficult one. So we're going to sell his hand axe. And I'm not sure if I equipped Luke's middle sword, so I'm going to do that real quick, because otherwise he is going to go into battle with a hand. And that is not anywhere near. Okay, so we're good. So I'm going to keep the speed ring equipped onto a main character. I want him to avoid his attacks as much as possible. Alright, so we got everyone we need here. There's no other things that we can do here. No warriors to recruit or anything like that, but we still got to make one more stop. And that is the mayor's house, which I believe is still back here. Yes, it's right here. So the mayor, Mary Canes have brought out our ships and sailed away. I'm sorry, no ships left. My ship, you can't have it. Now please leave. So he will tell us to leave. Not a big deal. And we're gonna head outside, and we're gonna get into a battle. Army seeks W for reaching Henri and Manaria. You must succeed. So, just like with the last battle, I'm not gonna focus on leveling up, just because we have to come all the way over here. And the first thing we're gonna fight are the bats here and the dwarves. So this battle is particularly dangerous. I'm gonna show you why. You can see we have snipers here with a dark mage, but that's not all we have. We have a new enemy. They're called zombies. They have a massive amount of attack, defense, and agility. But they don't have a lot of HP. So these things are dangerous because if they manage to get in between you and the mages, the mages can hit you. And by the way, you cannot hit your allies with spells unless it's a healing spell. So there's also that. Luckily with Lo's new staff and Tao's new staff, I could technically deal much more damage than I could before. So our objective is the castle up here, or the small town up here. If we're not leveling though, this battle should not take me till the end of the stream. But with as big the map is, it might. I'm not going to sugarcoat it on that one. Like I said, I'm still going to try to hit the level 4s with the killing blows so they can get more experience to level up, but that's not... It's not going to be a necessity. Alright. Dark Dwarfs really are a threat, but they only have one way to get onto the bridge, and the Death will swarm us when we get close. So our objective in this situation is to kill the dwarfs, one of the dwarfs as quickly as possible, and try to get some units through. Otherwise, the bats will swarm us, and if they put multiple of our units to sleep, that's obviously a big problem. Now, I'm gonna keep Chris in my party just because she might be good for cannon fodder, where I just throw her in front of somebody and she dies. But other than that, I'm not gonna be using her. I believe after a few more members we add here, I believe we're gonna be at our max that we can have in our party, which I believe is 12. But in the next area, I believe we have two new allies we can acquire. We get one story-driven, and I have to remember if we can get him before or after our next battle. I want to say before, but I think it has to be after. Now I mentioned last stream, I believe I mentioned M Knight that can cast spells. That is one of the guys. His name is Arthur. It takes him a while to level up, but I'm going to use him because I rarely ever use him. However, I'm going to probably level him off stream if I can help it, because he is quite weak. He has very little HP, but his stats can be raised just like a knight can, but he acts like a mage. I don't know what you call that. I don't know what a knight and a mage is called. I think it's called a red mage. I'm just going to look that up because I'm actually curious. What was I doing on it? Okay, that's what I was doing. Alright, let me check the web browser. I'm trying to... Okay, come on. Knight plus mage name. Okay, so they say like Weave Knight, Iron Weaver, so whatever you would call him, but he's still considered a knight. I don't remember how good he is, but I think if you level any character up in this game enough, I think it's not going to matter. So the reason that we have issues with the bats is because I put something here and a bat gets here, and on this water spot here, that's obviously going to be a problem. So we have to be careful. But we'd be too careful and those bats will swarm us pretty quickly. The dart mages and the snipers will not approach until we get closer. But, you know, the thing about here is when they're going to start coming down at us. You know, surprisingly, one of them, they're retreating. They're moving. I'm surprised they aren't attacking yet. This definitely seems like an easier version of this game. I'm not really sure why. Alright, so we're here. We're going to take out these dwarves. Well, I say take out, but I don't think Mae's going to be able to do it alone. Unless you get a critical. Excuse me one sec, guys. That was my phone going off. I forgot to turn it down before the stream. So now we're going to equip Luke with a spear. And we're going to hit this Dark Dwarf for probably like 5 or 6 damage. 5, 4. And I'm at a spot here because I can't really hurt these dwarfs anymore until Ken and Mae's next action. So these bats can swarm us, but I think it's going to take them at least 2 turns for them to do that. So I'm able to kill at least one of the dwarfs and get some of our units through. Now, the reason I'm moving Chris up with the main party, 1 because of the fodder shield thing, but 2, or the cannon fodder. But the other reason I'm doing it is because if I'm like on the top of the map and someone's on the bottom of the map, it means that the Crusaders go all the way down in order to do that, making the battle longer. So you never really want to do that unless you're planning on purposely making the battle longer. And that's what the Dark Dwarfs do. They actually surround the... So here comes the bats now. This is what I was worried about. However, I believe Mae can deal with this Dark Dwarf and get some units through. 5 points damage on the Dark Dwarf's dead, 20 experience, 25 points. Mae's level increased to 5. Defense level increased by 1. Speed increased by 1. Not a crazy increase, but I've been getting some good increase with her anyway. like the +3 defense during the last battle. So, here come the bats. We're gonna get Max through here. And we're actually gonna try to deal with one of these bats. But I miss. Interesting note here is that Max is a unique character sprite in battle because he's one of the ones that moves. Aside from the enemies when he battles. The other ones are usually just static, meaning they don't move. You can see his cape and his tunic and his his tunic moves while he's battling. Well, good, they're focused on Max now for a little bit, so they probably won't swarm the rest of my party. But that also presents a problem in itself, so we're going to try to get through. I'm going to put Gong here, I'm going to hit this dwarf for probably half its HP. Yep. 8 experience for Gong. You can see that I'm getting less and less experience per hit now, but the Dark Dwarfs are an older enemy, so... Yeah, I would say probably level 6 or 7 you stop getting experience from dwarves. You start getting 1s, which is experience, but... That's how older games, that's how some ROM hacks handle level system, is they put a cap, but they really don't say they put a cap on them. Alright, so we're gonna move, we're gonna give Ken his spear back, and we're gonna hit this dwarf for probably half his HP or a little less. Okay, a little more. We're getting Gordon there, Gordon's gonna hit this dwarf. Normally I wouldn't do this, but, we gotta get up here, so I'm getting rid of as many units as possible. Plus, they're not even 14 experience for killing one isn't that much experience. Like I said, they're an older enemy. They were introduced in the first battle, so I think we're on like the 5th or 6th at this point. So we're gonna Max around here. We're gonna hit this Dark Dwarf, which should be enough to put it down. 7 points damage on the Dark Dwarf. Max gets 24 experience, 25 points. Dark Dwarf is down. So the only bad thing is we haven't hurt these bats yet, and there's 4 of them surrounding us. So you have to be careful. And we still haven't hurt them, because Hans can't hit shit. You know that I probably could get that speed ring to Hans, because that might increase his accuracy with his bow. I probably should do that. I don't mind giving it to Max, but Hans is gonna get fucking mowed over here by the bats. Yep, we're targeting him now. Luckily, I don't think they can kill him unless they do a double here. Yeah, they didn't do a double, so we're still alright. Alright, there's some damage to one. And he gains 9 experience points. Luckily, Gong is right next to Hans, so we could heal him. Which I didn't really plan, but it worked out. 8 points. Crazy thing, too, I think Gong is the only monk in this entire game. That makes me believe that one guy, that backpacker guy, was a monk as well. But they never did another one. Alright, so they're surrounding us now, so that's a slight problem. They're more surrounding Max, but... Alright. So we're gonna keep hitting Max for small amount of damage. 2 damage. They're probably gonna go, one of them's going on the other side now if we don't stop them. So we're gonna hit this bat for probably 10. 9, okay, that works. I'm estimating, by the way, here. I'm not actually looking at the stats and subtracting or anything. I'm just guessing. We're gonna kind of attack this one. This time I'm trying to get my level 4s to level up. That's why I'm attacking different bats instead of attacking one. Okay. Or Ken could just wipe out one by himself. 31 experience, 60 points. Alright, now Luke should be able to take care of this one as long as he can hit it. I probably jinxed myself. Nope, we're good. 12 points of damage. Luke gained 32 experience, 60 coins. Luke's level increased to 5. Defense level increased by 1. Sorry, I thought I saw something pop up. Speed increased by 1. Maximum hit points increased by 1. Fairly average. Alright, now we're gonna see Woe's new damage cap. We should be doing like 9 damage to this thing. Assuming we can hit him. Alright, yep, 9 damage. We're doing as much as Gort can do these things. You can see right now we're definitely smoking them down now that we're actually hitting our attacks. So let's see how much damage Tao can do with her staff. By the way, there's going to be one time you're going to see Tao attack. So there's the animation for that right there. We're going to go around here. We're going to hit this bat for how much more? Probably another 7. You think Gong would be the worst unit to use against these things. Gun's level increased to 5. Defense level increased by 2. Speed increased by 1. Mass hit points increased by 2. Okay, that's pretty good. Bats down. So that was one of the more dangerous parts because the bats can potentially put you to sleep. And I've tried leveling up characters in this before, like 1 by 1, and they always put that they always put whatever character you're leveling to sleep. It doesn't matter which one. And I always had that issue. This game might be a little more tame. Maybe this is because, well, when they do games, they have different versions of the game. Sometimes they slightly alter games. But there's like 15 versions of Final Fantasy VII. I know there's at least. And then you have to count. Yes, and I do count this. If you count the Japanese version of a game and the English version, if they have both, that's that with 2 different versions. Usually the Japanese version is harder than the English version. Which I still believe is why a lot of Japanese games on the NES and Super NES are so difficult because they don't balance them very well. Like, I think I can count on one hand, how many times I've been in an NES or a Super NES game. They are brutal. So the good news is that these mages and these snipers are more spread out than the other ones are. The bad thing is that once we get to this desert here, we can't move very much. The desert basically acts like sand. Well, that's what desert is. And that makes it so it's harder for us to move. And that's what makes the zombies up here and the mages more dangerous. The zombies can move just fine, but we can't. You can see even the mages have a little bit of time moving. Alright, so here come the snipers. At least one of them. But Lo definitely is able to level up easier now that he has that damage increase. So we're going to equip May's spear here, and it's going to let us hit the sniper. Probably for half its HP. Okay, 5, but it's pretty good. May gain 9 experience points. But Max can now get close enough to hopefully knock up the sniper. I think it's going to do 9 or 10 damage. 10. Max gains 40 experience, 80 coins. Max will increase to 5. Max will increase by 3. That's a huge increase. Be increased by 1. That's good for a unit that needs to stay alive. Very good. Alright, we're doing pretty well here. We haven't taken too much damage from any unit. We've had to heal once, but that's because I stupidly put Hans a little too close to the action. I mean, he's a sniper, he has to be somewhat close to the action, but that's beside it. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but if you click on a character, you can see in the top left corner, you can see what their class is. And when you evolve, that class actually changes, but they only put 4 characters in, so I think it's 4 or 5, so instead of putting like Swordmaster or Swordsman, it would abbreviate it to something you probably never heard before. Alright, here comes the other sniper. Excuse me. I hit the sniper for a good amount of damage here with the middle sword. Damn, I almost knocked it out in one shot. 22 experience for Max. That mage is probably going to come down at some point now, too. Yep. And it's 1 space away from actually hitting us, so we got to be careful. We're going to have a few units come out there and teach that thing a lesson. I think Ken still has the bronze lamp. Yes. We have the dark mage for probably 10. 11. Damn it, Hans is close enough. I was kind of hoping he was. This might be bad for us. That mage gets another turn and we're going to have a problem. With just the defense 3 increase just now, I don't think the sniper's going to do much. 4? That's more than I was expecting. I was expecting like 1. So, normally I would let one of the guys get this, but we're too close here, and I'm scared of that mage getting that blaze off, so we're going to hit him with Gort. 11 points damage on the mage, 18 experience, 92 coins. Luckily, it didn't give too much experience, so that's fine. I think only a few characters aren't level 5 right now anyway, so... The next battle, if I remember which one the next battle is correctly, the next one should be a lot easier. 13 damage to the sniper, 25 experience, 80 coins. So, our plans for the zombies up here are basically to bait them into attacking. Now, obviously, whoever... And one more thing. The zombies can inflict poison. At the end of a turn, if a character has poison in them, it'll inflict 2 points of damage. I believe that number is fixed. I don't believe that it scales with your level or your HP, but I could be wrong. Low does have detox, and I have an antidote around my party somewhere, but I probably should have grabbed a few more. That's probably my own fault. So this battle could end here. If it does, I'm probably going to end the stream right there, but I'm going to try like hell not to, because like I said, those mages can cause a bit of problems as well. I think introducing the zombies this early was a big mistake on the developer's part. The good news is they don't show up a crazy amount, not to the point where they're really, really, really threatening, but they can still be a problem. Also, with the limited movement, we actually can get hit in a cross from the mages, so we have to be careful about that as well. We do get a coup floating / fighting units later down the line too, and they're really good. Actually, one of the units I can get technically here, but we don't actually have access to them until like chapter 3 or 4, because we need to do something special to get them. We get an item to get them, let's put it that way, but we can't actually use the item until later on. So I'm trying to like inch my way here one space at a time to make sure zombies don't like swarm us. I'm trying to also be careful to put Max in the way. I'm trying to bait them without baiting the mages. By the way, I didn't mention this before, but the zombies are weak to fire. So I didn't want to use Tau too much in case, but yeah, we're getting closer. They're gonna start hounding us here for a minute. Putting Ken in front is probably not the best idea because Ken has a lot of HP but not a lot of defense. Let's see what happens. They should start attacking us by now. Are they not going to? They have to be closer. By the way, I will say there is something that makes sense about this. Is I don't understand how the zombies have such high evasion. Like, I understand them high attack and defense because they're resistant to damage, but I don't understand how they have high agility. Okay, here they come. This is what I was afraid. We're gonna see how much damage these zombies can do. Yeah, see, Ken got 10 there. But clearly, can't take too many of those hits. The problem is I got the first start mage right there, so we gotta be careful. You can't afford to be too stupid here. See? 4 damage. This is where you need Tau, because Tau needs to be on their asses. The good news is Tau has most of her MP left. The bad news is Ken's about to die. Zombies can't attack twice, by the way. So there's also that. I meant that zombies probably not gonna take much damage from this. 5. But yeah, if you did that, if this is a mageless run, you'd be in a lot of shit right now. I'll say that for certain. So this is gonna inflict a little more damage to the zombies than other magic, but it's still a dangerous thing. So we got 1 zombie down. Actually, Tau doesn't use her magic at all. I thought she already used some of her magic. Here come the mages. That's what I was afraid of. So I'm actually surprised the mage did not use a blaze right there, because it definitely could have. So Hans is going to do like 1 damage to these zombies because his attack is absolute ass. And he doesn't get his next weapon until later in the game. Surprising go for Ken there. Gort should be able to... Yeah, Gort took that hit pretty well. So Ken is almost out of HP. However, I still have a job for him to do. So I'm going to equip a spear, which is going to do less damage, but I need to deal as much damage as possible while still staying safe. Yeah, 1 damage. I expected that much. But his damage is damage, you know? So now I get Low or whoever close to him. Okay, that one's going after Gord as well. Hopefully I don't get poisoned. It'll tell me after the damage is dealt if a unit is poisoned. And it'll give me a thing on map telling me they're poisoned. 7. Okay, I was hoping he didn't hit. Oh shit, I did not. Oh, this is not good. I forgot about the mage. Fuck. I might lose here. Dead ass. Zombie's dead. One of them is. Alright, we need to kill this mage like yesterday. Maybe Luke has enough power to put it down. Nope. Alright, let's see. Low have... No, he only has level 1. God damn it. But I can heal Ken. So I'm So at least I'm doing something, right? That's not gonna heal 10 completely, it's gonna heal for 14, which is actually higher above than average. Usually it's 12 to 13, but I healed 14 on that one. Okay. I managed to get a turn, and I was worried about that. But I am gonna use the healing sid that I had in order to heal Max for the 11 damage he took. I can't let Max die. That's obviously... That's an obvious thing. I shouldn't have to mention it. But now we're gonna equip... No. We're not gonna... We're gonna keep the sphere, and we're gonna hit this mage. Please hit. Okay. So the one of the Dark Mages is out of the way. That eases my tension a little bit. So we got 2 zombies. Okay, here's... That's very surprising. So the Dark Mage has a wooden staff. Not gonna do any damage. But he did hit twice. But I'm fairly surprised he can go for a Blaze there. Sometimes the game is really unforgiving, sometimes it's not. But now we can hit Blaze level 2 on the Mage and the Zombie, which is gonna severely weaken both of them. There's also another map, I know this one for sure, you have to beat all the enemies in order to win. Puzzle level increased to 6. It's being increased by 1. So, that was a pretty shitty increase. Can I should be able to kill the Mage now. I think. I might only be able to do 4. Nope, we got him. 7. Hans gains 33 experience and 92 points. Hans level increased to 5. Hans level increased by 1. Speed increased by 2. Alright, so we're somehow still hanging in there. I'm surprised we haven't lost a unit yet. We got a deadly attack, but only did 8. This should be enough to put this zombie down. And it is. Fantastic. 4 experience, 100 coins. Alright. So Low can't hurt the zombie at the moment, but he can still use his magic to heal for some experience. Ten experience for healing. How do I want to do this now? I could wait for Low to get another attack in and get him enough to level up. But that's a very big risk. But I'm going to try it. He's going after Gort. I was hoping he wouldn't go after Ken. So even if inflicts poison now, I still have the battle's like basically almost over. So there wouldn't be any danger of my units. So I'll be able to heal during the next Freyr. I know exactly what the Freyr is. By the way, it's probably called Friar. I apologize if there's any religious people. I know that religion is kind of a touchy subject, so I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. And if I have been pronouncing it wrong, because I probably have been. Okay, he's going after Low. That's not good. That's going to do a 10. Nope, Low evaded it. Very, very nice. Okay. So Low now should be able to kill the zombie. Low has a massive 19 attack that this should work. And he actually did a deadly attack for 10. 4 experience, 100 coins. Low's level increased to 5. Ooh, I think it's MP just shot by a shit ton. Attack level increased by 1. Defense level increased by 1. Speed increased by 1. Maximum hit points increased by 2. Maximum magic increased by 6. God damn. Alright, I'll take that. Max now under Marmarina. Must inform Henry about Gardania. Alright. We're here now. So we talked to this lady here. Welcome to Marmarina. Plan of magic and mystery. Nope, it's this lady, I think. We're sorry about taking. We thought you were from Runefest. So we get to search these things here for stuff. Marina Mage Schools. This is a mage place. Sorry about the attack. We can't be too careful in these troubled times. So we go in here. We have the Friar here, and we also have HQ right next to us. But we're actually going... We still have a little bit of time left, so I'm actually going to try to press the story just a little bit. Feel free to wander as you please. This is our new party member, Henry. Yes, I'm Henry. What about for Gardania? Who are you? I don't have to listen to this nonsense or someone I don't even know. Go away now. Wait, President Henry, please listen to Max. Nova. This is Max. He's leading the fight against the Rufus army. My father, the Sword of Light, in Gardania. Is it true, Nova? Yes, man, it's all true, I'm afraid. I need to be alone for a while. I understand your man. Don't let grief overwhelm you. You must be alone now. So, next President Henry is a great star. Please go and talk to her. Remember her duty to Gardania. Oh, our people need her now. So we can search these rooms. There's not really a lot here, but we can search these things for funny things, I think. No more magic duels. It wrecks the town. What a mess. We'll be able to have Blaze inside. You can see that they were casting magic over there. So we can come here. We can actually get a funny thing here. So, haha, you're just done. Would you like to observe? Yes. Good. Sit quietly and watch a master at work. I researched summoning demons. I'm going to begin an experiment. I shall summon dreadful things from my worst nightmares. Come forth, O creature of darkness. I conjured you forth. And it's a lady. Huh? When you're going to stop these tricks, come home right now. Oops, sorry, dear. I'll never do it again. Yes, I'll be good, honest. So apparently that happens a lot. So now we're going to explore the school. Not really a lot. The mages don't really talk too much about anything. So we're going to search these things. Experiments this isn't wanted. Well, we just high risk. This isn't wanted. Great excitement guaranteed. And a mage school, yeah, you're probably right. So, this is where we get the item I was talking about. Hello, don't use a good guess here. I thought it was rather strange, you know. So we discovered a Domingo egg. So this is a special egg that we can get. You normally have to talk to her and she has to say something about it, but... Oh. The Domingo egg, a very rare useful item. Hatch it when you get a chance. Come back before you leave. I might have some information for you. So there is that. So... Interesting thing here. If we go up here... Here is our... Martha, I used to be a knight. I'm not really a battle type. I like it here. So we do that. We talk to Anri here. What I'm going to do now, Max, is to hunt came from done making paperweight did. I'll fight with you. I'm sure it's what my father would want me to do. Anri joins the Shining Force. So Anri is a mage. She has Blaze, I believe. And, she also learns another magic later on we haven't seen yet. So we're going to check Anri's stats here. She has a power staff. 16 attack, 4 defense, 5 move, 7 agility. She has the Blaze spell. But that's her basic stat. So if we try to go beyond here... Wait, is this... This is the place, isn't it? Oh, I went the wrong way. I think. Where's it? I'm drawing a blank here. Isn't there supposed to be... Yeah, there's supposed to be like a place we can't go. That's not it. Oh, there also is another funny scene here I can do really quick. The lady here, if I push her down, it's a slide, of course. Drat, not as good view from up here. Better climb back up. I'll make it someday. So go here and we can talk to this guy here. He won't let us through. Go away. I want you animals can get past me. Which is actually a very subtle hint. But if we go up here, apparently the lady couldn't do it, but we can. We're going to go down this staircase. Go down this staircase. Go down this staircase. Whoops. Too many staircases. Take this staircase. Nope. God damn it. I think it's this staircase. Yep. So we can't recruit him quite yet. We can come here and we can talk to this lady here. Welcome to my research room. I changed him to animals. You want to give it a try? Very good. Let's start right over there. Please stand there. Now let's begin. Yes, that's what tasty looking hen. So now what the funny thing is that some of the dialogue changes here. If I talk to Arthur, they'll say, "What's up, hen?" So now we can actually go past this here. Most people will just talk to me normally. What in the world is a hen doing here? Shoo, shoo. And they'll keep saying that over and over again. So we're gonna go to where we were before. Go down this ramp here. And go take the staircase. Now we can get past this guy. He'll let us through. Well, what a cute little hen. Go on through. Talk to this lady here. I'll get turned into a hen. That's easily fixed. So we just come here. There really isn't much reason to come here, but she does give us a little bit of lore on the game. So she's going to turn us back into a human. Thank God we can't reverse that. It's kind of hard to fight against evil as a hen. You did well to read recently. Have you ever heard of a place called the Shady Abbey? No. It was founded long ago by the Folkardea. They know much of the agents. My friend just called me, but I can't answer him right now. I'm almost on my stream, but pretty sure I mentioned him before when my stream is. Anyway, I'm almost done with it anyway. So, there is that. So, we have to go to the Shady Abbey later in the game. But for now, we have all this info. We can actually go back here. Go back down the staircase. Go down this staircase. And we can head to a room we haven't been to before. Which is this room over here. Only same person in the line is Entrut. Everyone else is really weird. I'm Entrut. You wish to find the door to the cursed door before Roomfest became Roomfest, yes. One tells the pool of the angels below tied to the cursed door. First of all, you must first need the orb of light from the cavern of darkness. Beat the monster in the cavern and the orb doors, then return to me. Max, enter the cave and retrieve the orb of light. So this is our next objective. This is where we have to do our next battle. However, we're going to go over to the Freyr here. And I believe Anri is quite a low level, so we have to level her up. Yeah, we have to level everyone up. But the next area has enemies that are very close, and there's not many of them. So we can level up there next time. We're gonna save. And that is basically it for the stream. Anyway, that's going to do it for the stream. Thank you everyone for watching. Next time we will end up probably getting to, not to the end of Chapter 2, but we're going to get pretty damn close. But that's going to do it for the stream, and thank you everyone for watching. This is that Streamer1993 signing off. I'll see you guys in the next video, next stream. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.